Somewhere in Asia, construction crews are moving enough earth to fill 1,000 Olympic swimming pools. Steel rises from wetlands. Concrete stretches across former farmland. Another mega airport is being born. But this isn't just about runways and terminals. This is about the future of half the world's population. Asia is building airports at a pace never seen in human history. Not because it wants to, because it has to. The numbers tell a story that's hard to ignore. In 2000, Asian airports handled roughly 600 million passengers a year. Today, that number has exploded past 3 billion, and projections suggest it will double again by 2040. The existing infrastructure simply cannot keep up. Walk through Beijing Capital Airport on any given day. Nearly 100 million passengers pass through each year, pushing the facility far beyond what it was designed to handle. The same scene plays out in Bangkok, Jakarta, Manila, and Mumbai. Airports built for a different era, drowning under the weight of the present. The reasons are interwoven, complex, impossible to separate. Population growth has created megacities that didn't exist a generation ago. Cities with 20, 30, 40 million people, all needing to connect with the world. The Asian middle class has grown by over 1 billion people in 2 decades. These aren't just statistics. These are families taking their first international vacation, business owners flying to close deals, students studying abroad. Tourism has transformed entire economies. Countries that once relied on agriculture or manufacturing now find their futures tied to arrival gates and baggage claims. Vietnam welcomes 18 million international visitors annually. Thailand sees 40 million. Indonesia is racing to catch up. But passengers are only part of the equation. Cargo holds the real power. The smartphone in your pocket, the shoes on your feet, the coffee maker in your kitchen. There's a strong chance they all pass through an Asian airport. Global supply chains don't sleep, and they certainly don't wait for outdated infrastructure. Companies demand speed, reliability, and capacity. Airports provide all three. And then there's the competition, the invisible war being waged in the skies. Singapore's Changi Airport didn't become one of the world's best by accident. It was strategy, pure and simple. Control the hub, control the routes. Control the routes, control the commerce. Now everyone wants what Singapore has. South Korea is expanding Incheon. Malaysia is developing a new aviation city. Thailand is planning additional terminals. India is constructing an entirely new airport in Noida to complement Delhi's already massive operations. China has taken this to another level entirely. Beijing Daxing International Airport opened in 2019 with a terminal building larger than all 5 terminals at London Heathrow combined. It was designed to handle 100 million passengers annually. That's more than the entire population of most countries. And China isn't stopping there. Chengdu is getting a second major airport. So is Shanghai, Shenzhen, Guangzhou, Xi'an. The list continues. This isn't just about moving people. This is about geopolitical positioning. An airport is a statement of intent. It announces to the world that a nation is open for business, ready for growth, refusing to be left behind. It attracts international companies, creates jobs, generates tax revenue. It transforms a city from a regional player into a global node. The Middle East understood this decades ago. Dubai built an empire in the sand, powered by Emirates Airlines and a vision of becoming the crossroads between East and West. Qatar followed with Hamad International. Abu Dhabi, Riyadh, and others are all expanding, each position themselves as the gateway to somewhere else. Southeast Asia is watching, learning, adapting. Indonesia is constructing a massive new airport on a reclaimed island near Jakarta. The existing Soekarno-Hatta Airport is sinking, literally and figuratively. The new facility isn't just a replacement. It's a reimagining of what an airport can be for an archipelago nation of 280 million people spread across thousands of islands. The Philippines is finally addressing Manila's chronic congestion with a new international gateway. Vietnam is planning multiple new airports to handle its booming economy. Cambodia, Myanmar, even Laos, nations that were barely on the aviation map 2 decades ago, are all investing billions. But mega airports don't appear overnight. And they don't come cheap. The average cost of a major new airport in Asia runs between $10 and $20 billion, sometimes more. Beijing Daxing cost nearly $18 billion. Istanbul's new airport, which serves as a bridge between Europe and Asia, exceeded $12 billion. These are investments that span decades, long after politicians who approve them have left office. And the costs aren't just financial. Building an airport requires land, enormous amounts of it, thousands of acres that were once something else, farmland that fed communities for generations, villages where families have lived for centuries, wetlands that served as natural flood barriers and wildlife habitats. The stories are always the same, only the names and places change. Families forced to relocate, compensation that never quite feels adequate, promises of new opportunities that don't always materialize. In India, land acquisition for infrastructure projects has sparked protests, legal battles, and political crises. Farmers who till the same soil their ancestors did now watch bulldozers erase their history. Then there's the environmental toll. Every flight produces carbon emissions. Every new airport means more flights, more emissions, more contribution to climate change. Conservationists point to the contradiction. Nations pledging to reduce carbon footprints while simultaneously building infrastructure that guarantees increased air traffic for the next half-century. Wetlands are drained. Forests are cleared. Bird migration patterns are disrupted. Noise pollution spreads across communities that were once quiet. Local air quality deteriorates. The ecological price of progress is rarely calculated in the glossy renderings and promotional videos. Some projects face delays that stretch years beyond their original timelines. Budget overruns become scandals. Contractors abandon sites. Corruption allegations emerge. What was supposed to be a symbol of national pride becomes a source of national embarrassment. Yet the construction continues, because the alternative is worse. Without new capacity, airlines can't expand. Routes can't be added. Ticket prices rise. Economic growth stalls. The cost of not building becomes greater than the cost of building. Modern mega airports are no longer just places where planes land and take off. They're becoming cities unto themselves. Terminals house hotels, shopping malls, entertainment complexes, conference centers, and medical facilities. People work entire careers without ever leaving airport grounds. Some facilities even include golf courses, swimming pools, and movie theaters. Singapore's jewel Changi features an indoor waterfall and a forest canopy. Incheon has an ice skating rink and a Korean cultural museum. These aren't amenities, they're strategies. Keep passengers comfortable during layovers, and they'll choose your airport over the competition. Generate revenue from retail and dining, and the airport becomes less dependent on airline fees. The technology being deployed is staggering. Facial recognition systems that can process thousands of passengers per hour. AI-driven baggage handling that virtually eliminates lost luggage. Automated immigration that reduces wait times to seconds. Biometric boarding that doesn't require paper or plastic. This is infrastructure designed not for today, but for 2075, 50 years from now, when populations have shifted, when new technologies have emerged, when the global economy has transformed in ways we can't yet predict, these airports will still be standing, still operating, still connecting billions of people across vast distances. That's the gamble. That's the vision. Asia's mega airports are monuments to optimism. They assume continued growth, continued peace, continued globalization. They assume that people will always want to travel, that trade will always flow, that the future will be better than the past. History suggests this confidence might be warranted. Asia has been the world's most dynamic economic region for 3 decades. Its rise has lifted hundreds of millions out of poverty, created new industries, and shifted the global balance of power. Aviation has been both a cause and a consequence of this transformation. But nothing is guaranteed. Pandemics can ground entire fleets overnight. Economic crises can evaporate demand in months. Political tensions can close airspace and sever connections. The assumptions being built into today's mega airports could prove catastrophically wrong. Still, the concrete is poured. The terminals rise. The runways extend toward the horizon because Asia is betting on itself. And right now, that bet looks like the safest one in the world. From the deserts of the Middle East to the tropical islands of Southeast Asia, from the sprawling plains of China to the crowded subcontinent of India, a new geography is being written in the language of aviation. Cities that were once isolated are becoming connected. Regions that were once peripheral are becoming central. The mega airport isn't just infrastructure, it's a statement about ambition, about confidence, about the unshakable belief that the future belongs to those willing to build it. And Asia is building. Subscribe to Atlas Explained for more interesting videos. If you want to know about any city or country, comment your name, tell us what you want to know, and where you are watching from.